is SoloArc? SoloArc is a place you can go to when you need a trusted resource to deliver for you. The driving force behind everything I do is to ensure that your pressures are relieved on your workload and that you gain time. So SoloArc can help out in a number of ways. I can help you out from the project inception, which would mean that I do the initial survey first and then I draw it up and then hand it over to you, and then my involvement can finish there. Or with some other clients I have, that I actually do the whole process for them. And with others, it could be that I come in once the project has had planning, or if there is a stage where you need me to come in between those stages, it's absolutely fine as well. It really depends on the client. Who are my clients range from solo practitioners of architects, chartered surveyors, up to practices which are up to about 1 to 5. Run from my home office. I find that works a lot better for a lot of my clients. There's no need to buy additional computers, licenses for software, and all the other peripheral things that happen which you would normally need to have for a traditional freelancer. The software I use, generally it's a mix between traditional 2D AutoCAD, Revit depending on the client, and also Vectorworks. I can also, as well, depending on the type of relationship we'd like to have together, that I can also purchase another piece of software that you're using. It really does depend on the client. Currently my main go-to ones are AutoCAD or Revit LT. If there's a chance that you need me to learn your software, let's say ArchiCAD, I'm totally open to that. I enjoy learning new pieces of software. I don't necessarily see it as a barrier to working together. So with my experiences, I've been in the construction industry for 17 years. I've become fully chartered in 2013, and I went as a freelance architectural technologist from middle of 2014. Within my years of experience, when I was in professional practice, I've worked for clients which just do single houses, then off to when I was working for a developer, we did up to 52 houses on one site. Then in terms of commercial work, I've done a varied work for NHS work, private schools, nursing homes, so a broad range of sectors within the commercial areas as well. Okay, so when it comes to working with a client, the whole ethos, as I've said before, is ensuring that you gain time. So when I do a first project with you, I ensure that even from the very first project, I get the very best match to your CAD standards as possible. None of the work that I do has any of my branding on. It's all done through the company that I'm working for at the time, and I look to match their CAD standards as best as possible. If it's with Vectorworks, then it's instead of layers in AutoCAD, it's classes. So I try my very best to get that right, but it's always a learning process for the first couple of projects. But once it's nailed down, I'm 100% consistent on doing that. So yes, it can get confusing between different clients, but I think once I've done 3 or 4 projects, it's normally I've built up my own library of your work, so it's just a case of copying those standards across the various projects. So when it comes to integration, it's really down to the client. I have one client that just needs a set of drawings and that's it, whereas I have another client who's a chartered surveyor who likes me to go to meetings with him, do the surveys, talk to the clients, do the designs, right from the first first sort of design meeting, right through to the planning and the building regs, or I have some clients who professional architecture practices which just need me to thrash out the working drawings once planning's been got. It really does depend on what the client needs. Now, within that and the integration side of things, I'm happy to use my mobile phone number to contact consultants like structural engineers or anyone else that you need to liaise with. Happy to take meetings in someone's absence. Happy to take on an email address for the business as well, so it looks like there's a consistent forward-facing member of your team. I think that's really important. So yeah, in terms of integration, I think that is it varies on different clients, and I'm happy to do whatever you need me to do so you gain time. So when it comes to managing my workload, over the past sort of 4 years, I've developed some good management strategies to ensure that everyone gets their work when they need it. When I start a project, I don't work to start dates because they can sort of be pushed back. What I do tend to work to is deadlines, so if that can be very clear from the offset, then I can move projects around to fit in with the timeline of the project. So when it comes to a typical day in SoloArc, it normally starts around about 9, and then once I check my emails to see what's coming overnight, see if there's any firefighting that needs to be done for a client, if a planner or something's thrown a spanner in the works, and then from that I work out my day to be as productive as possible, and look at all the targets a couple of days down the line if something needs to be done. And I've developed some chart bars that are moving stuff around, and a colour coding system that tends to work really well when it comes to delivery for my clients. So when it comes to what projects I get involved with, I do get in a mixed bag, and it is very client specific. But I think depending on which type of client, I have a client which I just do permitted development extensions for, so small rear domestic extensions, and then it can go up to £2-3 million housing. In terms of commercial, it could be care home extensions, private school extensions. It really does depend on the client. I'm not limited to one area. I feel that I've been in the industry long enough now that I can sort of turn my hand to whatever project you need me to do. So yeah, get into contact and then let's discuss it. So generally, when it comes to what other things I'm up to, I've trained to be a BIM coordinator. I've also a SAP accredited domestic energy assessor, and I've been that since 2007. Although the accreditation came in a bit later, but I did my original training on SAP 2005. So I find that is a good addition to my skill set. So when I am actually starting a building regs project or even planning, I've already got in my mind exactly what we're going to need to do there, and having that consultancy up front so I can give it to my clients so they can give it to the end user straight up. There's no surprises when it comes to building regulations. Quite recently I've become a commercially licensed drone pilot as well for inspections and surveys and photography of finished projects. I mean, I think freelancing sometimes gets a bad rap, really, that you're just there to get the project done and you disappear. Well, I tend to not do that one bit. When I first meet a client, from the very get-go, I'm always thinking of the longer term relationship that we're going to have. So not necessarily the first project, but the 6th, 7th projects down the line, basically. So that feeds into the integration with the business, so when we we have the first meeting, that I ask different questions about the business. I ask how you operate, what kind of level of involvement you might need me on a day-to-day basis. For me, it is more about creating a long-term relationship than just a one-off project and then gone.